States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'll do the roll call. Libby?
Here.
Ryan?
Here.
Sean?
Here.
Fritz?
Here.
We have a quorum. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Joe, are we good? No, we're good. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And looking for approval of the minutes from November 3rd.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 3rd, 2025.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
We have no old business tonight. New business, the council will consider a special event request from Discover Fortville to host Winterfest 25 on Saturday, December 6th. Stacy Molander.
The tentative furniture code, and maybe a few changes to it, but not many. And the map, which I did send the fire marshal, and the police chief to have them take a look. And anything we've got from this, I think it's okay. So you guys should have all that in your packet. We will probably start setup at 10 a.m. on Saturday the 6th. And then starts at 12, ends at 7. Tear down should be done by 8. We're only doing 20 artisan vendors, 2 food trucks. We've got activities happening. The VFW's got like 10 vendors in their space. Santa will be at State Farm inside Ken Eads' location. Parade will start lining up at Landmark Park, probably between 5 and 5:15. Take everybody down Noel, onto Pearl, up Main, and back to the park. Hope to have that wrapped up about 6:45, tree lighting at 7, and everybody can go home. Question?
Sure.
How many more people do you need signed up for the parade? Like how many people are signed up currently? We have 7 official, probably 10 unofficial. Probably what is trying to keep the parade in between 6 o'clock and 6:45. So, I mean, 5, 6, 7 people. I don't know how long this maybe horses stay, but they don't get food, so.
Is there a grand marshal for this parade?
Like you just did.
So the parade's the last thing that happens. Yeah.
We are working on burn barrels and working with fire marshal to make sure that we're in compliance with their codes on getting burn barrels, keeping them warm, but also making sure we're being safe about it. And as we get that.
Any questions?
Nope.
Well, my comment's going to be, as it always is, we just need to make sure we have that insurance with the town as an additional insured. Perfect. Thank you.
David Beetson had a question.
So all of us are wanting to buy food on the street. More of a quick breath. Okay. We talk to them about it and they think they can handle the load. So, we do have to talk about kind of preserve vendors and so we will other things that haven't been in the past. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to keep everybody happy. We'll be prepared. We'll be prepared. Everybody's excited. Yeah, they're gonna do like a quick grab, so you'll be able to go outside of their spaces. They should and or something that in front, so you don't necessarily have to go and grab a meal. We're gonna have quick theory things. So here we go.
Okay.
Chief, you got anything?
I do not. We've been talking and I've made my recommendations and Stacy's adhered to them about parade routes and all that. The only thing I was thinking is after the parade, is there going to be enough time after the parade for everybody to come back around and enjoy the tree lighting? That's the only thing that popped into my mind this afternoon with a million other random thoughts.
From the parade.
Back in time, right? That you get to pick on.
That little, yeah.
They would be the only person that isn't physically located in the rest district. So I didn't check that box on here because everybody should already be here located that has.
Sure.
If Moondrops does want to participate and they can file that temporary designated vendor for the event with the ATC so that they can have a stand as well.
Okay.
So they could participate and have the same privileges. It's just an extra form. I can help work with you,
And then
Andy. Correct. Yes. Okay.
Anybody else?
Do we need to make a motion?
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the special event request from Discover Fortville to host Winterfest 2025 on Saturday, December 6th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay. Motion carries. Okay, next up we have consider the first reading of ordinance number 2025, a rezone for approximately 45.15 acres, Wilson property between 200 West and Fortville Pike, north of Fortville Elementary, from R3.5 to PUD for the proposed Vernon Woods neighborhood by MI Homes.
All right, so for this particular item, as you stated, this is simply the first reading, the introductory reading for this new rezone, new proposed neighborhood. The purpose of it is to get your feedback from council. And then from here, it would go to the Plan Commission. They're on the docket for the Tuesday meeting towards the end of the month, November 25th at 6:30. So that'll be the the formal public hearing, and then hopefully the Plan Commission will make a recommendation one way or the other on it. We are working out some of the fine details between staff and the developer right now. We've provided them with our comments. I would say they're fairly minor. Overall, we are in the planning department, we are in support of the project. And so they did prepare a presentation, which put up on the screen here right now. You can just say next. All right.
Good evening, council members. My name's Ethan Foley. Land acquisition manager for my homes. Tonight I'm actually accompanied by quite a few people from our group. Jim Lewis, our VP of land, Jonathan Isaacs, our development director of acquisition, our land analyst, and our new entitlement manager, Dominic Breyer, is here on his first day. So we'll see if he wants to hang out and stand there after. Anyway. We appreciate the opportunity, obviously, to come here and introduce our newest residential development, which was known as Vernon Woods until we just found out Friday that there's already a county platted neighborhood named after Vernon Woods. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the drawing board on that marking name. We should have that updated here soon. So stay tuned. For the sake of this presentation, I'll continue to refer to it as Vernon Woods just for the sake of this presentation. This project itself, though, it represents a thoughtful approach to growth while blending quality housing and connectivity with the neighborhood character. So, slide 2, you can go back. Yep. So, just to give everyone some reference to where this park was obviously located, 2 miles south of Broadway, State Road 67. And it's centered in between 200 West on the west side of the property and the east. It's just to the north of the entirety of the Mount Vernon School Corporation area. And we think that this location itself offers great accessibility and a strong connection to the surrounding community. Next. As for the site plan, so this site was designed to be a smaller, more quaint neighborhood. I can say that obviously there were some constraints here as it's a skinny parcel. So it's not like it's anything I did super intentionally, but obviously that's what we want. The design to provide connectivity to the east, west, north, and even the south. When we originally brought this site before staff, there was a concern kind of just about how the site may lay out from east to west. We've utilized the Jackson Ditch that runs through here to provide kind of like a natural traffic calming feature. And then also one of our more exciting features of this actual site itself is that we are looking to provide a pedestrian path. In this very case, it's actually located between lots 8 and 9, which is subject to change. We have a meeting this week with the school corporation, but we're looking to provide a pedestrian walkway for our residents to the actual school system, so that way children and parents alike can have access to walk to school every single day. And we think that's important because in today's suburban market, it's very rare modern day to find people to have true connectivity and try to be able to interact with Fortville. Next. So obviously some site specifics that you're going to be interested in. So this community, talked about it earlier, spans 45 acres. We're looking to do 99 single family lots in here while yielding a modest density of 2.2 dwellings per acre, with each lot averaging just over 8,000 square feet. And we preserve 28% of the land as open space. Homes will range from a square footage standpoint across ranches and 2-story homes, 1,600 to 3,050 square feet, and will be priced in between $380,000 to $425,000. aligning with Fortville's market and attracting families and professionals alike. Next. Just to give you an architectural taste here, Vernon Woods, this neighborhood will feature some diverse elevations and provide strong curb appeal. What's exciting is that this particular product type is already proven, and it's actually, you can find it pretty close to here over in Helms Mill in Fortville, and then just to the north in Silo Ridge in Noblesville. We look forward to being able to bring that same quality and consistency here at Fortville. Next. And then obviously, as assessed value goes, with homes ranging around $400,000, Vernon Woods will bring a meaningful boost to Fortville's residential base. But we understand that it's not just about assessed value. At the end of the day, it's more or less about the opportunity for Fortville to grow long term and achieve those long term goals. So this project will contribute to the local economy, strengthen the school system, and reinforce Fortville's position as a desirable destination. Next. That's obviously the quick short down and dirty of it all for the intro tonight. Any questions from anybody, I just wanted to thank you for your time and consideration, and we look forward to being able to work with you all on staff as we move forward on this.
Thank you.
Adam, I'm going to ask you again. Yeah, we talked about the rental thing. That to be maybe look at adding it in on the PUD. Is it in here and I didn't see it, or we've not done that?
It's in the it's in the red line version that I provided to them based on this.
Okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we've been listening to both what council has said about that, what some members of the public have said about that, and what our peer communities are doing as well. So what I had proposed based on all that was that we cap the rentals at no more than 10% of the whole neighborhood. And I think they've tentatively agreed to that. The method by which we'll likely do it is through a zoning commitment rather than having it, and that'll be paired with the PUD, but rather than having in the PUD ordinance. So that this way, if the town wants to pass our own ordinance at some point townwide, then there wouldn't be any conflicts there. So yes, that is the way that we've looked at it. The other piece that's come up recently had to do with flock cameras and trying to get some more of those in the community for public safety needs. And I think they're looking at the pricing on that, but they seem to have at least an open mind to it. And then really in terms of the architectural standards, neighborhood standards, it would follow a lot of the blueprint that was done in Byers Estates, in Mount Vernon North, a lot of those same or similar architectural bells and whistles that are a little bit unique to Fortville. So, yeah, there's definitely a number of different issues that that we wanted to tackle. And lastly, the other piece as well is because this particular property it's a narrow piece, and yes, there is a lot of open space, but as you can imagine, it's not very usable in a lot of ways just because the way the property is laid out, there are a lot of constraints on the property. So we are discussing with the developer right now on what assistance they may be able to provide to the Parks Department on a per lot basis in terms of a donation. So they're working on reviewing those red line comments. We had a Zoom meeting about it, and then they'll come back and we'll see what revisions they come back with. But the bottom line is that when it goes to the Plan Commission, it should be more or less the finalized product. And certainly it can incorporate any comments that you might have here tonight.
Are we not concerned about the trail finishing out straight across on 200 and is it going to stop there, or will we continue on the other side of that to the?
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about was just adding a trail along the whole frontage so that it can go southward. And as Joe pointed out during our meeting, where Scott Myers' old house is, in case there's some sort of building or park or whatever it may be, if we provide that connectivity, then they'll be able to extend it down there. So I think they were at least open to that idea.
Are we worried at all about the west side entrance there being right across from the elementary, and I mean that being a really big traffic area, and any danger to, you know, in and out there? I mean, different times of the day, that's a super busy area, and it looks like that entrance is right across from the entrance that in and out of the elementary school. I mean, I'm sorry, the intermediate school. I apologize, intermediate school.
See if I could on that,
Yep.
along that west side of their property, if you were going to put a driveway anywhere, that would be the optimal place to put it, directly across the street from an existing, which kind of makes a four-way intersection, if
Right.
you will. I think what's going to end up happening is the folks that live there are going to figure out the timing of school when they're letting out and coming in, and possibly use Fortville Pike to come in when they need to. And there's also a connection that goes into the Mount Vernon North subdivision as well.
And the other thing that we have required in the fine print is a traffic impact analysis. It's not necessarily a full-blown traffic study, but it's a similar level of detail that was required for Byers Estates, for Mount Vernon North. And the function of that is just to make sure that those entrance points are, the lane configurations are appropriate for that. So we felt that was a good way of trying to mitigate against those issues.
Yeah, just know that, you know, if there are going to be more and more kids walking to school, then, you know, that could get kind of hairy over there, but.
Yeah, that'll be a cut through. People are going to use that to cut through over to 200 to, or from 200 over to there to get to the schools. So just be, I know students are going to be and parents are going to be in the mornings when they're running late. They're going to try to cut through wherever they can cut through to get there as quick as they can.
So going back to the 10% rental rate, it still seems kind of a bit high, especially for only 99 homes. Is that like the minimum we can do is 10%, or can we go lower?
I mean, that could certainly be discussed. The way that 10% came about is, I know some of the other communities, Fishers, for example, have gone with a 10% number. I think maybe Carmel did as well. So it seems like in this area where they are, Noblesville as well, where they are, where the government is getting involved, 10% seems to be the going number, but I can defer to the developer.
So it's difficult to just say, here's a cap, boom, 10%. As a home builder, then we have fair housing laws that we need to be concerned about. So we have leaders that will prepare you. Typically it's less about percentage and it's more about making sure that the homes are sold to the right individuals that prevent a mass amount of rentals from occurring. So a lot of the language that we have agreed to in the past is about percentages, but more about constraints of how long someone can own the property prior to it becoming a rental. So I think what many communities in the area have come to the realization is they have some communities that have become very heavily owned by companies that specialize in rentals. They buy homes, it changes the market condition of the homes, raises values to a point where people might not be able to afford them any longer, only the corporations can, and it perpetuates the problem that you're. So there's other elements to be added into that discussion, including, and primarily we sell to the idea that people can So we don't have a problem saying, well, you have to own your door for an extended period of time compared to it being able to be a rental. Although there may be some circumstances that should be allowed. For instance, you may buy a house and have a child rent from you or something to that effect. So a family member is not necessarily considered a renter to us. And then there's other hardships that maybe need to be qualified. Someone loses a job. The only option might be to rent in order to not lose everything. So we would set up parameters that would have a defined way to identify and approve such measures to allow hardships to continue to be dealt with appropriately. And the last thing you want to do is end up with a bunch of people that get foreclosed on a house because we ratchet up their options to deal with the real estate. So that's kind of the parameters that we'll come to. We typically say a year that someone has to live in a home for a year, and it's not just the first owner, but it's any time that house is sold. And that would be something that we would identify in the covenants and restrictions. So it's our suggestion that we not put it into the PUD, but we do it as a commitment that this would be handled, and we can work with your legal on how much involvement the town wants to be in that commitment. Obviously, to ensure that it's going to be in those covenants restrictions, but outside of that. And then again, if you end up with a citywide or townwide ordinance, we don't want to have something that's overly restrictive or underly restrictive in the PUD that we created. Yes, and that was doing something different long term. So I don't know if that helps clarify a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I guess I'm less worried about like individual rental, but having like an American Home for Rent come in and yeah, something like that. So
Can you remind us what the price point is going to be on these homes?
Yeah, they have be 400,000. They're floor plan type. 16 square foot is up to a little over 3,000 square foot, 2 stories. Those 2 stories will be on the higher end, much higher than 425 or 430. And the low end would be a little bit under 400,000, probably the starting price being the $380,000 range.
Do you find those price points deter rental properties at all, or does that not play into it?
Probably putting in a price point that keeps some of those, that keep the professional rental companies out from buying it. Yeah.
I would hope, being right next door to the elementary school, you're planning on building a lot of 4 bedrooms for the families and the young ones to.
The predominant house would probably be 4 bedroom. Yes.
Mhm. That's just my thought.
I just know that when the boom, the boom happened is when all those properties got bought up in Timber Ridge the way they did. People weren't getting an individual to offer them that kind of money for the property, and these companies come in and out, offered more. That's the reason why that happened. But I'd say over half of that out there probably is rental now. And we don't want that. And that really is a market thing and not something you can control. Unless we put it in the PUD or something like that, I would think.
They can't do anything with that house. That's a return on investment. They can't. So that's, I think that's why we supposed to talk about long-term restriction as someone have to for it to be rented, because that's going to discourage that professional real estate. I don't.
That's the goal. Okay. Any more questions?
This should be 11B.
11B.
Public comment?
We have any public comment? Okay.
I'd like to push for a 24-month on that, not 12-month. I mean, he brought it up, but just so you know.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion then on the first reading.
You got anything? You guys all good?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve first reading of ordinance number 2025-11B, the rezone of approximately 45.15 acres of the Wilson property.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks for coming. And then next will be the planning commission meeting then on the 25th of November at 6:30. Okay, next up we have consider the first reading of ordinance 2025-11C, 11C for the 2026 salary ordinance. Joe?
Okay, yeah, what you have before you, there's same structure of the salary ordinance that we've had for many, many years. I did go through and add the 5% to the base pay to everyone in here. Those are the red numbers that you'll see. That's what was budgeted for. And then also back on the police department, there was discussion about retention of officers so we can keep the officers and help recruit more folks, better qualified individuals, or anybody that's interested, I guess I should say. But the idea there was to bring the first class officer up to the $73,500 per year to be competitive with the surrounding areas. And with that percentage, then we increased all the other officers to the exact same percentage. One thing that I did add in here, whether, you know, I should or shouldn't have, I wanted to put in here for you to something to think about. With the street and utility department, we've got a revolving door going on back there bad. In fact, we've had 3 positions open for quite some time, you know, just trying to keep people in there. We get people in there, they see money somewhere else and they're gone. I increased that one. Blue is the one that's in blue there. And what I did there is I brought it up to the same base pay as what the utility plant operators are. That is the uncertified, unlicensed operator that, you know, takes care of the lab and the maintenance. So those guys, what I'm proposing is to bring their base pay up to match that. And I did talk with Beth about that. And she said the funding is there. She said it's possible we could do a reappropriation, but she didn't think we would have to.
Yeah, she said that to me too.
Yeah, and in fact, like I say, even having 3 positions open for as long as we have, you know, the funds are there for that. And then again, on the police department, she said that they forgot to include 27 pays this year because it's an odd year. But we can still swing it. It just may need to be the new officer that comes in January that Pat was approval. Yeah, so it'll be delayed a little bit. So she said, again, there's no problem with that whatsoever. But I just want to let you know that, you know, that was what was discussed and put in place.
Is the 2863, is that comparable to neighboring or comparable?
I would say no.
No, okay, because I haven't looked at
We're
that.
paying a little bit more than our neighbors are. But again, when you go out and compare apples to apples, our guys take care of water, sewer, street, storm, maintenance of all the buildings. They do everything, town maintenance. Where you go to a lot of these other communities, you have a storm department, you may have a water department, and you may have the guys that take care of the, you know, just the parks or something like that. So there's a reason for that, you know, base being a little bit higher for what we do, the way we handle things. And I will tell you too, and I'm probably jumping ahead, but with some of the growth that Adam and I have been looking at the last couple of weeks, it's kind of frightening as far as how much growth is looking and the potential of what's coming this direction. And I will say, I'm almost 60 in a month and a half. There's about 5 or 6 of us. It's all going to be rotating out about the same time. And we're going to be losing a lot of the experience that we got that would maintain the street and utilities and take care of some of that stuff. So my idea is to try to hold these people and try to get some seniority and some education and keep them here as long as we can and not have them want to leave and go elsewhere. And I did a poll of the guys, and I think most every one of them work second jobs too. So anything that they get to come their way that's going to entice them to go and make a little bit more, it's a little trickier.
Yeah, we definitely need to get some that are going to stay.
Is Missy here tonight?
No.
Or on the, because I noticed when I talked to Beth, she said that the deputy clerk was going to still stay at part-time. Now I see deputy clerk is it full-time now?
No,
Because I don't see a part-time next to deputy clerk.
We did make that full time, didn't we?
it's part-time.
Could somebody change that to part-time? Or make a motion that that's a part-time position? Because when you see the police department.
Yeah, it says
it's
part-time
based
temporary.
Part-time.
Yeah, I mean, I can add that to the language of that if you like. Just the part-time deputy clerk.
That'll be on the second reading.
Yeah, I can have it corrected.
I'm pretty sure that, didn't we do that in the budget? Make her full time.
It was proposed.
If she goes full-time, right now she gets paid $23,000 a year. It'll jump it up to $46,000 a year for deputy clerk.
Well, if you go down to the number of pays, it's,
I'm just going by hours times 40 hours.
yeah, but down here you see
Yeah, times
the number of
15.
pays. But it's telling you it's full time.
Oh, so it is full-time. Can Missy come talk to us next week? She's trying to make that full-time.
I don't believe she is.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we had discussed with her and the clerk or the bookkeeper, that it was going to remain part-time.
Okay.
Now, I'll go ahead and correct that and I'll add part-time on there. But if for some reason I'm mistaken, I'll have 2 options for you at the next meeting to approve it either way you'd like.
Yeah, because down there in section 7, the number of pays, it's also saying that it's full time there.
Okay, deputy. Well, I think when I put this together, yeah. I will correct that for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Man, I just want to retain some good employees and get some good employees. That'd be real good.
That's my concern. I mean, it's like,
Whatever gets it there.
we worked really hard to get, our utilities and our streets and stuff in the shape they are and trying to get this growth going and all the maintenance and stuff that we do on them. I just really hate to, not have anybody there that can keep it going.
It's just hard to keep changing and reteaching. That just gets hard and hard and hard.
Well, and then what I was going to bring up here in my report as well, Patrick Osborne, he just went and got his water distribution certifications. He's now a certified operator. The other thing that comes with that a lot of times is poachers. So we have people from other utilities saying, hey, we heard you got your certification, and they come poaching and trying to, we have that quite often whenever somebody gets their certification, another utility come and trying to offer them more money to steal them away.
So do this $2,000, do the utility guys get that too?
$2,000.
That bonus?
Yes, yes, everybody does.
It all goes in an HSA. It's all health
They can
savings.
take it either way they want to. They can either put it in their HSA at the beginning of the year, take it as a bonus, and then they can put in their HSA, a little bit throughout the year.
Missy can only use it as an HSA.
You can only use it for an HSA. And I don't remember why that was put that way. I don't know if it was tax reasons or what, but that was the way it was.
Yeah, I remember
Before
that.
she got them at all.
Yeah,
That was the way it was.
I don't
But I
remember.
think part of the reason why you can do it either way, originally when we did the bonus, they said something about the way the insurance, the Obamacare was set up. If you give it to the employee as a bonus, then that made it, or no, if you gave it to them as HSA, then it didn't qualify for the Obama stuff and it threw it out. So we started doing a bonus. Then they changed it to where you can take it as HSA contribution. But what we have is some folks maybe staying on their spouse's insurance or something like that. So it's not fair to them that, you know, they don't get the same contribution. So it gets either divided into their HSA
I
week.
remember there was a conversation. I just can't remember what it was, why we decided to do it that way. I can't remember what it was.
Mhm.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, that's the only question I had. Just the amount of money it was, because Missy gets paid $50,000 a year, and then she's got a clerk treasurer making $46,000 a year. And I didn't know, we've only gone up maybe 1,000 people, and we've only gone up like 1,000 residents in 15 years. What would be justified to jump that to full time? I don't know how, Missy, if she could come in and explain to the amount of paperwork that they're doing. Maybe she does need a full-time person. I don't know.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2025-11C.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Oppose.
Okay. 4-1.
Like I said, I just want to know exactly. Neither one of them are here to explain.
Yeah, we have time for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have department. Joe?
Getting certificates, very proud of him. And I did put on the test and the study and everything. He did very well. We've had guys that had to take it 3 or 4 times, so I was very impressed. And with him and a couple of the other guys we got coming on board, I think we got some. Turn my mic on. You guys can't hear me. May not want to hear me, but I think we got some pretty good staff coming on board. So let's see. Reminder: the leaf pickup started today on the north side of Stat Street, and we'll be back out on the south side Wednesday, starting that. The next week? Come on. 24th. Yeah, I thought the guys told me they were picking them up today. Okay, so it'll be next Monday, the 24th on the south side. And then on the north side, then November 26th, Wednesday, that'll be our last.
Please don't rake your leaves in the street.
Yes, please don't. Because we're supposed to get some rain coming in. It really messes up the drains and causes some dry, sticky issues. Let's see, the Pazer Road ratings have been done. We'll be turning that into LTAP here real soon, getting that report submitted. It's got to be submitted by the end of this month. The water plant, they're going to be doing some work this week. The 2 pressure filters, all the filter media we've been storing out here in the garage in the back of this building. Started moving it out to the water plant today. And now that the demand is down out there, we're going to start adding some more media to those filters. So hopefully we don't cause any disruption to the system, but just so everybody's aware, we'll send out a notification if we do, have any blurbs that, lowers pressure or anything, but I don't think we will. Landmark Park project. That's the project that's been approved and funded. We're working with Reynolds Construction on that. They've called in locates. We've been out there marking up all the utilities, power, and all the things that may or may not be in the way. They're taking shots on all that stuff and be having a drawing put together so we can meet on site. hopefully later this week and see what utilities may be in conflict, which ones we can get rid of, or how we can position the new construction around what's existing. And I know I probably got more that I could go on and on, but that's all I got in my notes. So unless you have anything for me.
I have nothing. Adam, do you have anything else for us?
No, nothing for me unless you have questions or anything.
Good to see the gas station open.
Yes, it is.
BP.
It is.
Keith is not here. Chief?
Yep. So on the back table there, Vernon Township is having a blood drive on January 21st, 2026. You can scan the QR code and schedule your time and to be there. They've asked me to share that, so I did. Officer Freitas's car was obviously totaled when he got hit head on. He's recovering currently, and we're working with IPEP to get through all the little hurdles that we need to do to get him back on the street, working again. We're estimating the first of the year. But since that, we've worked with insurance to get the cost estimate on the total vehicle plus the detailing and the equipment taken out of the vehicle, tested to see what still works, and then what doesn't work will need to be replaced. So we got that, and I've sent that over to insurance too. So we should start getting some checks from that. But I need to replace that vehicle, and I want to do that with a non-tactical vehicle, which would be like a detective's car, which you guys have in a packet here. I got 3 bids, and they were all for a non-police vehicle, and they were all cheaper than what it would be for a police vehicle. I spoke with Beth concerning the difference of insurance. We're going to get right around 37, 38 estimated from insurance by the time they depreciate the equipment that was in the car and do all that. But I talked to Beth and asked her if we needed to start looking for a used vehicle or a different, smaller vehicle or what. And she said there was money in the budget, still in my budget, to cover the difference in the purchase if we were in the 44 to 45 range. So I went out, and you guys have all 3 of the bids. Unfortunately, some of them just wrote it on the sticker, and some of them actually sent me an emailed bid. So I'm asking tonight that the council approve the purchase of the cheapest bid from Don Hines Ford at $44,751.25.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I just have to say it's a shame that's all we're going to get for the car that was totaled.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have insurance either.
Mm-hmm.
And they, I believe, are in the process.
The driver didn't?
The driver did not, and I believe there's going to be some additional legal matters that they'll have to attend to. So our insurance is eating that one, and I'm sure they'll go back and see what they can get back out of him. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in sometimes.
So you said with the insurance that we're getting from that, what was the price difference?
Should be
About 8,000.
about 6,000. We should be getting about 38. It was like 30,700, and I could pull up the email, like $778 for the car. And then we have to get the decommissioning of the car money back. All the equipment out of the car got tested, and that amount ended up like $7,700 for what would need to be put into a new vehicle. And then I have the quote for restriping and the cost of the installation of the badge and the police on the side of the vehicle. So we're right around $38,000 is what we're going to get back. Estimated. I have not yet seen the check from insurance, but I do have the email confirming that. But I'm trying to get this done sooner than later so we can get some cars back and going again. So we're looking at probably a $6,500 difference, which Beth, Lord, Joe. Right. But I spoke with Beth and she said there's money in my budget to cover that in the unregulated lit funds to cover the difference. So,
Looking for a motion, I guess.
I'll make a motion to approve the Don Hines Ford 44,751 and 25 cents for the replacement police vehicle.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go, Pat.
yep, I got one more. Basically an announcement. I don't know if everybody here follows us on Facebook, but we are fortunate that our community is very generous. So this year, any funds that we are going to collect through our Shop with Public Safety, we're going to use to stock the food banks in Fortville. There's a need. I've talked to several churches. I've talked to our police chaplain. I've talked to Farm, talked to Flory May with the township. And there's definitely a need for some additional food help in the community due to the government shutdown and the SNAP shutdown and all that. So we're going to take whatever money we get this year and just go to Sam's Club and stock the pantries. And then what we still have in the account from the generosity of the community, we will have enough to still fund our Shop with Public Safety event and still take the kiddo shopping. So we're going to do both this year just because I think there's a need. So.
You can.
You can do what you want. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Yeah, right. So yeah, we're gonna probably go with that first week of December to Sam's Club, and I have not spoken directly with the fire chief, but I know Flory has, and we're gonna take firemen, policemen, and whoever wants to volunteer, because I'm not pushing 15 carts around Sam's Club. I can tell you that. Other than that, I believe that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
I noticed on the news this morning, they talked about electric scooters and stuff on the Monon Trail. It was a big thing that they were talking about. So
Yeah,
thinking about us.
yeah, that's an effort I'm going to work through the winter and try to figure out what the best solution is to maybe,
So is everybody else.
it is. It's one of those things where everybody's talking about it, and somebody's going to come up with a genius idea of how to curb it and see what we do. So,
$100 fine first time, I
That's
think.
what
Was it?
Talked about fines like $100, 150, 250.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first time, second time, third time.
and then having parents come pick it up.
They talked about impounding. Yeah,
Yeah.
some community. Yeah.
We'll see. There definitely is a need for some sort of enforcement.
Yeah.
It's just, are we going to go impound an electric bicycle because a 10-year-old was riding it some way or the other and call Garners to come pick up this car and have them pay a storage fee, or, that to me is,
Maybe they need to do community service.
I like that idea. I got police cars that could be cleaned.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing.
Right?
I'd just like to see, you could start with education first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I would
let's
too.
go positive and
Right.
like teach them. And then when they fail,
Training and
discipline.
education, and then
Yeah.
maybe a couple, like a warning system, and then start a fine system after that.
Kids like pizza.
Yeah. Is that it for you, Pat?
That is it. Yeah.
Missy just did text me and told me that Beth did take it out of the budget. So there is not a full-time position for the deputy clerk.
Yeah, that was my understanding. And actually, after we moved on, I got to thinking the 27 pays, there is still 27 pays, even if it's not, that position was approved for 25 hours a week.
Okay. Alex, you have anything for us?
I don't. Unless you have questions for me.
I don't have anything. Public comment? No comment tonight. Okay. Oh, Dave's coming. Come on, Dave. Come on down. The price is right.
Dave, that talking about this rolling in this house subdivision and is Alex, is this enforceable or is it legal or what? I didn't quite understand how we can say, you can't sell this house now. I understand why they're wanting to do something about it. As I see American Homes rent buying stuff all the time. And I'd be concerned about that too, but I just wondered if this is just a gray area or it's something that we really don't know if we can enforce.
No, it's enforceable as Adam, and what the discussion was is there's more than a couple, but we talked about two different ways to address this. They're not mutually exclusive. You could do both. One would be to include something in the PUD and the ordinance to address, set a limit, 10%, not more than 10% of the homes can be rental properties. The other, so that's a zoning, code. If we find that there's more than that, there could be a violation. What the developer was talking about is a different approach, which I'm assuming, Adam, they're going to have a homeowners association and the developers control that until they're 60 or 70% built out, typically. But as part of the HOA and commitments that are recorded against the property, no one's allowed to rent for a period of time. Councilman Rommel said 24 months. So that would be a way to address the issue outside of a percentage, to really say, we want you to buy this house, but buy the house with some exceptions, like he said, hardship, or if you're renting to your family member or something. You can't rent for 24 months. So that takes one of those big companies or a private equity investment fund that wants to come in and buy 5 or 10 or 50 houses and rent them. They're not going to do that if they have to put down $20 million for half of the homes in there, or even $400,000 for one home, and then not be able to do anything with it for 2 years. So that will dissuade that rental situation. You have to own it for X amount of time before renting. So that's also an enforceable way and an approach that can be used. And like I said, they're not mutually exclusive. It could be a both and, either or. And the other thing that we talked about is a townwide ordinance, just a blanket ordinance about rental properties and developments, something that the council could consider as well.
But there's a lot of turnover
There's
in jobs, everybody's desirable place to live. I didn't want to start making it undesirable because they wouldn't be able to sell their home.
right.
Well, I think that, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Council comments.
I don't have anything.
Nothing for me.
I have nothing.
Nope.
I'm good.
Like
Okay.
we put up town decorations, right, on Main Street. Yeah, it looks good. Is what my daughter liked them. I know that.
Heath and his guys did that on Main Street.
Our committee needs to meet and get more decorations for Broadway.
We need to start getting donations because those were pretty expensive.
Would Taxman like to donate?
Yeah.
We are taking donations for Broadway decoration.
I need to get a count on those poles and see what we need and what could go up there. There's a lot.
Yeah, we need something.
And that's not something that the RDC will be funding probably.
They do.
But they're not supposed to use it.
Okay, I need a motion to approve and sign voucher. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
You got
they
it.
can't hear you.
These,
I could say, I'm serious, if you did like want to send a quote, and have that available for the next coffee connection, I'm sure that the taxman would donate. Okay. Actually, obviously, decorations cost whatever, I'll say we would pay $5,000, but yes.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
that offer.
Yeah.
I'll let Nathan know. I'm a positive person.
everything's literal here, so be careful. What? Yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for coming.